So, back to the birds and migration. How do birds know where to migrate? How do they know where they're going, where they should go, what routes to take? First is by sight. Birds are going to follow rivers and coastlines and mountain ranges to figure out where they're going. So they're going to follow large landscapes. I catch myself doing this sometimes when I'm not sure where I'm going. I kind of have an idea, but I know, okay, where I'm going is kind of north from here, so I'll just kind of go in the general direction until I hit a major highway or something. They're going to go by sight. Go ahead and write this down. Some birds are said to have a built-in compass in their head. There's this bit of a metal called magnetite in their head that will kind of tell them which direction they're going, which way north is. I don't know if you guys have done this in the past, but the Earth is basically a giant magnet. We got the North Pole and the South Pole. And because the Earth is a giant magnet, compasses work the way they do. So I don't know how many people have used a compass, but it'll tell you where north is. Everyone, if you have a phone, you have a little compass in it that'll tell you which direction north is. So some birds have that metal in there that will help them. By observing the sun, moon, and stars. Okay? Let's say you are stranded somewhere, you have no idea, let's say a forest or somewhere. Someone drops you off and they don't tell you where you're at, and you have no technology to help you. You can look to the sky. We all know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So by using that, you can figure out where north is. There's things like the North Star. So the idea is that birds can use these space features to figure out where they're going. And there are some birds that actually birds overall have terrible sense of smell. There are some birds that have a good sense of smell and can basically find their way home with that. I have a college roommate whose uncle, I don't know if he still does it, but his uncle raised homing pigeons, and they would put these little tracking devices on them, and he lives in Nebraska, and they would release them. They'd ship them down to like Texas or somewhere, and then they had to find their way home. It was like a little hobby or contest or something. Maybe the first one that got home won. And he could tell, he could look up on his phone to see exactly where his pigeon was. So smell. When do birds migrate? Many travel at night and then eat and rest during the day. Before a migration, birds will typically gain a bunch of weight because they don't have time to eat as much as they're burning a lot of calories flying. So they don't have enough time to replenish that. I don't know how many people have watched the show Survivor. I haven't watched much, but I was listening to an interview with a guy that had won a couple of the Survivors, and they asked him for advice, like what is the thing that he does before he goes there. And he said about a month before he goes on the show, because if you're not familiar with Survivor, like they don't feed you, you have to like kill rats and stuff, and if you win a competition, they'll give you food and stuff. But so it's harsh conditions where you're going to probably lose a lot of weight. And so for about a month before he went on the show, he would eat 3 buffets a day. He'd go have a breakfast buffet, a lunch, and a supper buffet. Just stuff his face and try to gain 40 to 50 pounds before he went on the show, because he knew once he got there he wasn't going to be able to eat much, and he needed some basically fat reserves to get him through the show. Well, birds do the same thing. They beef up before they're going, so they have extra fat. Let's call that good.